you do if somebody called you stupid? It kind of happens in today's passage, but not so offensive. These two disciples just said the phrase, "We were hoping that Jesus would be the one to redeem Israel." Again, that was the catchphrase for the whole concept of the Messiah defeating Rome and establishing Israel as the global superpower, with all other nations as slaves to them. That was the expectation many people held on to. And then the passage says, also, this is what they said, also, some women of our group astounded us. They were at the tomb early this morning, and when they did not find his body there, they came back and told us that they had indeed seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. And some of us who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but they didn't see him. Interesting. Well, Jesus' response is, "You are foolish and slow of heart." Dang, Jesus. Like, a modern phrase for foolish might be, "You guys just don't get it." And it's not meant to be an insult, like we would throw around the word stupid. It's more of an observation. They cannot interpret the situation right in front of them correctly. And then Jesus tells them why they can't see. They still don't know he's Jesus. They still think he's the stranger on the road. He uses the phrase slow of heart. What does that even mean? Like, in the Greek culture of the first century, the heart was often seen as the seat of a person's thoughts, emotions, and will. And in modern times, we trade that out for our brain. We think the brain as like the mission control, like command center that we feel, that produces motivation and feeling and all that stuff. Now, was this phrase slow of heart used anywhere else in Greek culture? Actually, yes, but not in the Bible. Greek philosopher Aristotle, who lived 3 to 4 centuries before Christ, said in his work, Rhetoric, "Men are generally slow of heart to believe anything against their own interest." Now, I'm wondering if Luke was familiar with the usage of this passage and adopted it. What does it even mean? Remember, the phrase redemption of Israel refers to the desire for the nation to become a dominant global superpower, which was a common aspiration for those in this patriarchal culture. Now, if you're a man in this culture, you have a lot of vested interest in your country becoming a great power, because that translates into a big bonus paycheck for you. So it was a significant driving force behind their interpretations of the scriptures. Now, this vested interest in gaining power and influence prevented them from seeing beyond their own agenda, and they were unable to recognize the Messiah walking right beside them. Now, we're supposed to contrast this. The women of this culture were not included at the table of power and wealth, and were in a better position to see what God was actually doing in a way that men could not. So Jesus takes them back to Sunday school and explains everything to them again from the beginning. And it takes all day. Now, Jesus is not handing them something new. These stories are something that they have had the entire time. But they made all of these additions and expectations and interpretations and layered it on top of the stories so that they couldn't recognize God when God showed up. Now, Meister Eckhart said, God is not found in the soul by adding anything, but by the process of subtraction. Now, this passage is an encouragement to examine how we partner our religious views with those things that give us power and prestige, and how this might affect our interpretations. Now, we are, as Aristotle said, slow of heart to believe anything against our own interest. But that doesn't make those things that we cling to true or good or right, even if we attach God's name to it. They're encouraged to listen to the testimony of the women, and then we, in turn, are encouraged to listen to those who might not benefit from the systems that we are caught up in, so that we can test these systems for their truth and their goodness.